I know these are pizza boxes, but my stupid brain always wants to see them as big sheets of plywood. Kiki doesn't work in construction. Why do I have to force myself to see them as pizza boxes? I can't think of any other times where we get to see a wide shot of the temple straight on like this, only at the normal 3/4 angle or from behind. There isn't anything new to say about it though. There is a rare mailbox sighting though. This thing comes and goes, and today it's here for some reason. It's like the stools. This is the first time we see Connie's house. It's pretty typical, suburban looking, no interesting background details to mention other than there's something going on, I'd guess, June 25? Oh shit, if you're watching this on YouTube, that's the day this video comes out. I did not plan that, and I did not add that X in, I swear to God. Go watch the episode.
What's summer vacation?
You know, when school gets out for the summer.
I've never been to this, how do you say, school?
I've always found it extremely hard to believe that Steven or any of the gems don't know what school or summer vacation is. Or Greg for that matter. Steven can't have gone this many years without asking his dad why Beach City suddenly gets a ton of tourists during the summer. I can only suspend my disbelief so much. Pearl's got those monkey arms again.
Who will teach little Stevie now?
Teach you? Steven! If only I had known that's what you really wanted.
Damn, the setup for this episode is really rough. First, Steven doesn't know what school or summer is, and now Pearl helped him with all this without teaching being mentioned, apparently. It's contrived, but it's serviceable. These are some reused voice clips from a previous episode. They almost never reuse stuff like this. The animation isn't, since Pearl has her new design in this one, but I'm pretty sure they reused the storyboards. Just watch this, I'll play them back to back.
We found this gem-powered mirror at the Galaxy Warp.
This is the first time the Galaxy Warp is mentioned. It's also the first time any important place is mentioned before we get to see it. Again, we're at the beginning of this show's continuity. At this point, if something is mentioned, they'll probably touch on it sometime down the line. I'd also be remiss if I didn't mention how cool this animated reflection is. It's not a complex animation, but keeping it simple and making it convincing at the same time is impressive.
It'll offer you everything you've ever wanted to know about your fellow gems and our culture.
I must be incredibly important to gem culture.
Whoa, holy fuck, that is not a line I noticed at all any of the previous times that I watched this episode. I always thought this was just a funny line, but knowing how this series plays out, you don't know how fucking right you are, Steven. It's interesting how little details like this can change completely after having watched the show all the way through. I swear to God, they made this show to be watched several times over.
Oh well, I guess that's the end of our school.
There's a rare instance of Steven having diamond eyes instead of star eyes. Weird that this point follows what I just talked about. Not saying it has any meaning, it's just weird to see him without stars.
Hey! Which way you going, you little... Steven?
What was he gonna say? Fucker? Fucking brat? Something worse that I'm not allowed to say? Hey, they shortened the stop sign. They must have heard me.
All those out-of-town summer babes traveling away from home without their boyfriends, if you know what I mean.
Nope.
Oh, sweet innocence, season 1, Steven. I hate thinking about what they did to you later.
Well, yeah, maybe I'll meet a new friend.
I hate this delivery for some reason. Why is she talking about making friends so sarcastically? It's either just a weak line read or sad for Sadie's character. You can't spell Sadie without sad. They never took this Beach-a-Palooza poster down.
Car wash kid, what are you doing?
I don't know. Why were you driving down the boardwalk?
Fucking got him.
What just happened?
Everyone who's seen this show already knows what's up, but the first 2/3 of this episode are kind of a red herring. If you're a new viewer, this mirror looks like any other magical artifact, like the time thing and the replicator wand. You'd kind of expect that Steven's gonna use the mirror for something that he'll regret later, and end up breaking it to solve the problem. If you weren't noticing the tone shift to the last 2 episodes, this episode, so far, just seems like any other Monster of the Week story.
What's it like being a mirror? You work!
I guess mirrors do work. Like, all the time, even when nobody's looking, you gotta keep reflecting. Damn, that sounds like a hellish existence. Mayor Dewey just decided to park his truck in the middle of the beach for a speech? He's got all this pomp and circumstance with the Mayormobile itself, but not for the speech? Huh.
We all look forward to the sounds of the summer season.
Not sure why Lapis kept going with this fart joke. I'm not sure how Lapis knows what farting is at all. Do gems fart, or is it something they make fun of humans for doing? I gotta stop talking, I can hear the DeviantArt people down the hall. Farting. This pier has to be completely useless. I've never seen the tide anywhere near this far in. Speaking of tides, they haven't come into play before, but this time skip shows that the show staff actually puts in some work to make sure the tides do go in and out over time. They knew people like me would be watching and pointed out if it didn't change.
You got a lot of mileage out of that joke.
Damn straight, she's been doing that for a whole afternoon.
Steven?
Is the new friend.
Really?
Steven talking to the mirror for hours makes me think of all those AI chatbots that sad, lonely people talk to. Point being, Steven not having any friends makes way more sense now that we know that he's never been to school. I love the colors in this scene and the rest of the episode. It's still summery and clear, but the purple adds to this sort of unease. It's almost like that vibe you get when the power goes out in your house.
Yo, Steeman! Hello, Steven.
Howdy. Back.
Get down, she has a fucking gun!
Want to see something hilarious? You don't understand.
Pearl was fucking ready for that. She summoned that spear so fast it didn't make a sound. This shot was made to fuck with me. Amethyst is doing bedroom eyes, Pearl is doing that hand thing, and Garnet is, And then immediately after, we get one of the best set of shocked expressions ever. Like, you don't have to know these characters at all, and you can totally glean a bit of their personalities just from this shot.
Come on. You want to come out, don't you? You have so much to say, and funny noises to share from across the ages.
Steven's got some kind of aura, not a magic one. I think he's just written that way. He's got a way of talking his way through situations and winning people over. It's not consistent, he doesn't end up talking his way out of everything, but he's able to do it more than any other characters. Max out charisma, if you know what I'm saying.
It shouldn't be able to do that. It should only be following orders.
I'd love to go into a long discussion about how gems placed in magical devices work, or how they're made to be obedient. I'm sure there's a ton of ideas for the process of making a gem-powered device, though this is one of those cases where I think it works well enough without any extra explanation. The explanation being magic is plenty for me on this one. Can you maybe put that arm somewhere else? I can't not praise this show when it gets this creepy. I know I gush over it every time it happens, but I have to do it extra this time. This time it's making you fear Garnet, someone we've spent all this time getting to know. It's that same feeling when you're a kid and you're in trouble with your parents. It's not a fear of them, it's a fear of what's going to happen if you disobey them.
Fan out!
Garnet's so pissed she's going full SWAT team. You don't need to fan out for Steven. He's still a fat kid, he couldn't go far.
Lunch.
Me!
I could never figure out where the mirror got a clip of Garnet saying out. Is it from when she said howdy bang earlier? That's the closest I can guess, but I'm still not sure. I don't know what I can say about this sequence. This is one of my absolute favorite scenes in the whole show. The framing on Steven's face lets you see what's running through his head during all this. The music and sound design and the pattern on the water it gives me chills every time I watch it. Again, this is one of my favorite scenes in the whole show. I could count on one hand any other scenes that come anywhere close to this one. And I have to praise this show's sound design again. I don't do that often enough, but I do think sound design is one of this show's biggest strengths. It sounds like magic, that's the best way I can describe it. The bigger picture here is that Steven just pulled another fucking gem out of the mirror. At the moment, new viewers have no idea what this means, but it's a way bigger deal than just the 2 episodes that Lapis is the antagonist. Steven freeing Lapis sets off a chain reaction, leading to every other major event that happens in the show. Lapis returning from Earth is one of the reasons that other gems end up coming to Earth at the end of the season, and that just cascades into more and more plot lines. I haven't mentioned the best animation in a lot of previous episodes because a lot of the time there isn't anything that stands out enough to be worth mentioning. But this time, I think Lapis's dress billowing out is my favorite bit of animation in this episode.
It's Steven, right? I'm Lapis. Lapis Lazuli.
Bond. James Bond. Lazuli is not a surname though. The real gemstone is called Lapis Lazuli, but people always shorten it. I hate to do this during an awesome moment, but the shadow is of a left hand, and the water forms a right hand. Lapis already being able to overpower the other gems is impressive, but I'll save the power scaling discussion for next episode when it's on full display.
Don't trust them, Steven. Goodbye.
Crazy things that new viewers are thinking right now. I remember watching this for the first time and being like, oh shit, the crystal gems are evil, which didn't end up being the case, but man, it was a fun time to be watching this show when there were so many mysteries still unanswered. Normally at the end of each episode, I give my full thoughts and wrap everything up, but since this is the first episode of a two-parter, I think I'm gonna save it until the end of the next one. I will say this is one of my favorite episodes in the whole show, like top 3. I'll also do a sort of mid-season wrap-up next episode, my thoughts on everything I've covered so far. But until then, if you want to see new episodes a week in advance, you can subscribe to my Patreon for just a couple bucks. The link is in the description. Shoutouts to my journeyman patrons, Alex Martin, Bingus Kid, Boomblorp, Emily, Fiore Army, Ray Lynn, Cinderant, Scala LD, Stephen Wickers, and the Tamara. Also, shoutouts to my apprentice patrons. Next episode is Ocean Gem, the mid-season finale. I always forget how long season 1 is.